Hello, Scott Baker here again, Montgomery County Republican Party, Precinct 23 Chair, and now candidate for County Chair of the Republican Party of Montgomery County. I have another video, and this one is titled Montgomery County Republican Leaders, a New Censure Fiasco. That's right, we're going to play the censure game again. Well, here's a summary. And as I said in my last video, in 2024, some Texas Republicans created RPT Rule 44 to try to allow county chairs to remove elected candidates from the primary ballot. The court has said they can't, but they're going to try. County Chair Gwen Withrow from Montgomery County and members of the Montgomery County Republican Executive Committee, or CEC, are now attempting yet another Rule 44 censure. The RPT Rule 44 censure is out of order. The state and some county party leaders want a very small number of people to override the votes of tens of thousands of voters, yet again. So who am I? Scott Baker, Montgomery County Precinct Chair, Republican election worker and judge, delegate to multiple state and senatorial conventions, alternate to the National Republican Convention in 2012, and I've served on numerous Republican committees and subcommittees in the party. I've been around a long time. And I'm now a candidate for the Montgomery County Chair, as I said. So the rule number 44, censure process and penalties, provides that a CEC may censure an elected official for violating three-party principles or rules. When censured, the SRAC reviews and approves, or not, and if approved, the CEC, here's the important part, if this is approved by the CEC and the SRAC, the CEC may openly campaign against that Republican who's censured by using party funds. And the county chair may remove that candidate from the primary ballot. So here's what the rule actually says, just for reference, because we're gonna talk about this in a minute. So a county or district executive committee may, by a 2/3 vote of those constituent executive committee precinct chairs present and voting, but in no case less than a majority of the county executive committee in full, adopt a resolution censuring a Republican public office holder representing all or a portion of that county. This is going to be very important in a minute. This is House District 83. You might notice that that yellow blob in the middle is Lubbock, the city of Lubbock, which is in the Panhandle. House District 83 is represented by Dustin Burrows, the current Speaker of the House of Representatives in Texas. Dustin Burrows has been endorsed by Donald Trump for his leadership in the Texas House this past session and in the special sessions. He's also been praised by the governor of Texas and the lieutenant governor of Texas, as well as numerous other officials. The red circle on the right in the bottom corner there is Montgomery County. That's where we are now. That's where I live. The red circle on the left up there in the Panhandle, that's Lubbock. Nowhere close to Montgomery County. Remember, it says by a 2/3 vote of those constituent executive committee precinct chairs present and voting, and that the Republican public office holder must represent all or a portion of the county. The attempted Rule 44 censure of Speaker Burrows, House District 83, is out of order, is what that means. Speaker Burrows represents no part of Montgomery County, not even close. None of the CEC members are or could be considered to be his constituents. That means there is no person on the CEC who can vote on this censure under RPT Rule 44. That's it. I mean, the censure should be dead just with that fact alone. We're trying to censure someone who doesn't even represent us. And the language of Rule 44 clearly says that it must be someone who represents us. We must be constituents of the person we're trying to censure. Here's the language of the first page. This is a 3-page censure that they've drafted here, the Gwen Withrow and the so-called steering committee. I like to call them the deep state of the Montgomery County Republican Party Executive Committee. Say Speaker Burrows ignored the Republican House caucus by not voting for the caucus nominee for Speaker of the House, and instead voted for himself. Dustin Burrows was duly elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the state of Texas. Period. He was also a caucus nominee. the rationale that they're landing on here to justify censuring him for this strike, what the state has called strikes, is Republican principle number 5, personal accountability and responsibility. Because he didn't vote for one candidate for speaker, he chose instead to run himself and got elected. And I really fail to see how this is not in line with personal accountability and responsibility. It doesn't even make sense. Okay. Number 2, January 23rd, 2025, Speaker Burrows pushed through the House rules, which included all committee vice chairs to be solely from the Democrat Party. Why were all of the committee vice chairs to be solely from the Democrat Party? Because Speaker Burrows changed the rules to not allow Democrats to be chairs of the committees. What was the request by the Republican Party from convention last year? Legislative priority number 4, no Democrat chairs. There were no Democrat chairs of standing committees in the House this session. And that was because of Speaker Burrows. So he did not violate legislative priority number 4. Number 3, January 23rd, 2025, Speaker Burrows accepted the motion for a previous question, blah, 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 blah. This is a procedural motion to end debate. It's used all the time in committees, on the floor of the House. Even the CEC uses procedural motions to end debate. We're going to censure somebody for using a motion that we essentially use ourselves on a regular basis. That makes no sense. And it seems rather hypocritical, frankly. Number 4, February 18, 2025, H.R. 3, the housekeeping resolution that includes the House budget was laid before the floor. Instead of being laid on the House floor for debate, as is customary, which means this is kind of usually how they do it, he didn't put it on the floor. For whatever reason, the Speaker of the House didn't violate a rule to do this, just didn't do the usual thing. So, we're going to censure him for violating Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution and the Republican Party of Texas Principle 1, which is just a self-referential thing that goes back and points to Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution. So we're saying the same thing twice there, and housekeeping resolutions are not covered in the Texas Constitution or the RPT principles. Period. Number 5, Speaker Burrows accepted the following resolutions and motions. Again, I mean, you see the laundry list here. He adjourned. He accepted a motion to adjourn. He accepted another motion to adjourn. He accepted another motion because they adjourned multiple times and the House voted to adjourn. That's a violation of personal accountability and responsibility? What? That doesn't make any sense either. I'm getting lost here. Number 6, Speaker Burrows allowed the following Appropriations Committee meetings to take place without video recordings as stated in House Rule 419A. House Administration Committee is responsible for ensuring an audio and video recording of any public hearing, formal meeting. Okay, there appears to be a House rule that says that the committee meetings should have been recorded. Okay. And it says he failed to comply with the... Oh no, it says he failed to comply with the Republican Party of Texas Principle number 5, personal accountability and responsibility again. So we're not even holding him to the House rules. We're just saying that he just was personally accountable and responsible for this. Interesting to note, the county chairman has also required/requested that I stop recording so-called executive sessions, which we have no rule for in the Montgomery County Republican Party CEC. In fact, what we do have is a rule that says all CEC meetings and all committee and subcommittee meetings shall be open to the public. The public, that includes me, shall be allowed to film or record without disruption at any time. So the county chair is asking us to censure Speaker Burrows for not recording committee meetings, but she also has a problem sometimes allowing people to record committee meetings. Okay. Therefore, be it resolved, the Montgomery County Republican Party of Texas Executive Committee recognizes the aforementioned violations as egregious offenses. These are egregious offenses, people, and censurable acts. You can read all this. It's published on Facebook. It's published online. I'd be happy to share it with people. The point is they're trying to use Rule 44, which again, Speaker Burrows does not directly represent any part of Montgomery County. We are not his constituents and therefore cannot censure him under Rule 44. Period. The entire resolution is out of order, and it also doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical, and these are not things you would censure somebody for. Especially somebody who just, delivered on the Republican agenda in large part, and was endorsed and praised by Donald Trump, the sitting president, the Republican president of the United States of America. Once again, the CEC and the SREC and the state party seem to think they should have the power to remove candidates from the primary ballot. The courts clearly have said that they don't. Now, less than 100 people in Montgomery County want to take away the right of tens of thousands of people to vote for their candidates on the other side of Texas. Not even in Montgomery County. We're talking about somebody that's not even close to our district. And again, Speaker Burrows delivered on the Republican agenda, and we're going to censure him. Or are we going to do the sidestep? This is what I like to call it. This is what they did last time when they failed to pass a Rule 44 censure against our own Montgomery County reps, Will Metcalf, HD 16, and Cecil Bell Jr., HD 3. The CEC, if they fail to pass this resolution of censure under number 44 on Tuesday, they're going to try this next Tuesday, September 2nd, by the way. Are they going to falsely claim that instead it's just a county resolution? That is what they did last time. The county chair has repeatedly violated the CEC bylaws to get these censures presented before the CEC and then to declare them passed. Here are some rules that she's broken repeatedly, including this one. If they try on the floor to present this as a local censure instead of a Rule 44 censure, it must receive at least 75% ayes or approved votes from the members present of the CEC. That is because this resolution of censure, which is a resolution, did not go through our resolutions committee. If a resolution has not been reviewed and reported on by the resolutions committee, it may be adopted by the CEC by the vote of at least 75% of the members present and voting. The resolution against Reps Metcalf, HD 16, and Bell, HD 3, did not pass with 75% approval. I've conclusively shown this in other videos. But what's the point here? Why are we even doing this? Why are Montgomery County Republicans trying to disenfranchise voters in other counties? This is not what we were elected to do. Our job is to run the primary election and turn out Republican voters. How does any of this relate to that? Why are the SREC and CEC so focused on attacking other Republicans? We're supposed to be uniting the Republican Party to beat the Democrats at the ballot box. That's our primary function, really. Instead, Chair Withrow and the so-called steering committee, as I call them, the deep state, seems to be focused on attacking other Republicans. It's what we spend so much time on. And we're fixing to, on Tuesday, waste another good chunk of the meeting doing the same thing. Is this what you voted for? I don't remember Gwen Withrow running on this or speaking about it during the campaign. She talked about uniting the Republican Party. She talked about following the rules. And yet she continues to break them repeatedly. So who is responsible for this? Well, as I showed last time, the chairman of the RPT, the Republican Party of Texas, Abraham George, seems to be driving this very hard. He's really behind this. He thinks it's a great idea. And the SREC, which Our representative on the SREC is Gwen Rithrow, also our county chair. Is she representing you by pushing censures against the Speaker of the House? Is she representing a majority of the Republican voters in Montgomery County? Why is the CEC, or the steering committee really, who've taken over the CEC and essentially run it, County Chair Gwen Withrow, also SREC rep, Vice Chairman John Boucher, Secretary DJ Fike, Treasurer Charles Shirley, Kenneth Ernest, Sherry Tavel, Robert Walker, Herschel Williams, Jackie Williams, all members of the so-called steering committee. They're the ones who voted to move this forward and proceed with a censure, a Rule 44 censure against Speaker Dustin Burrows. There was no motion on the floor at any CEC meeting requesting that the steering committee do this. No one asked for this. I don't know of any countywide polls that people have asked the voters and said, is this what you want us to do and pursue? Instead, they seem to be running their own agenda. So again, what can you do? How can you get involved? How can you help stop this nonsense? Well, you can contact your precinct chair. That's the first place to start. You can go online to the county website, mctxgop.org, and you can look up your county chair. If you're not sure what precinct you're in, you can look that up on the Montgomery County elections page. All you have to do is look up montgomeryvotes.org. You can get involved. Attend CEC meetings. There's one Tuesday night, September 2nd, 6:30, downtown Conroe at the County Commissioner's Room. Better yet, you could run to be a precinct chair. Attend your precinct convention after the primaries in March. That's where you start to become a delegate to the Senate district and state conventions. The conventions are where these rules are drafted. And we seriously need to get up there and delete them and get on with our primary tasks. This is why I'm running for Montgomery County Chair. I want to stop this nonsense and restore the Republican Party to sanity. I say let the voters decide. Let's get back to our jobs. Let's grow the Republican Party. Let's reach out, invite all the new folks moving into Montgomery County to be a part of the Republican Party, to vote with us, to work together, to have some unity. Yes, we're always going to disagree on some things, but there is so much we agree on, and we can absolutely work on those things together. Thank you. Please like and share this video. Post your comments and feedback below. God bless you. God bless the state of Texas. God bless President Trump and our wonderful United States of America. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.